World War II is like the ultimate showdown that's been talked about nonstop. But let's get real, there's a ton of hype that doesn't match up with what actually went down. Here's the lowdown on some of the biggest myths that keep making the rounds. Polished cavalry versus tanks myth. Ever hear the one about polished horse dudes charging at German tanks like some kind of old school joust? Yeah, total misfire. They were actually taking on foot soldiers and only got blindsided by tanks later. Nazis spun it into a wild story to make themselves look all-powerful and the Poles look clueless. French cowardice? Nah, so France got steamrolled early on, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, the French totally chickened out. Not even close. They were fighting hard but got outplayed by Germany's blitz game. It wasn't about lacking courage. It was about being caught off guard and stuck in yesterday's playbook. Clean mirror matched? As if. Some folks like to think the German army was just doing the soldier thing, and it was all the other Nazi crews doing the dirty work. Nope, turns out they were in deep too, doing all sorts of no-gos like executing POWs and civilians. US playing solo. Think again. Before Pearl Harbor, the US might have been playing it cool, but behind the scenes, they were all about helping the Allies out, sending gear and cash over to keep the fight going. So much for sitting it out. Blitz spirit overhyped. The whole Britain's got this no sweat vibe during the bombings. It's a bit played up. Sure, there was bravery, but also a ton of fear, trauma, and folks calling out the government. It wasn't all unity and high fives. Japanese invincibility? Lol. Early wins had people thinking Japan was unstoppable. But that got real old real fast once their weaknesses showed up and the Allies got their act together. Underestimating the opponent? Classic mistake. Soviet quantity versus quality. It's easy to say the Soviets just swarmed the enemy with bodies, but that's selling them short. They had some mad skills, tech upgrades, and smarty pants leaders that turned the tide. It wasn't just a numbers game. US to the rescue. Partly true. While the US definitely threw some heavy punches, saying they single-handedly won the war is majorly overlooking the squad effort from the Soviets, Brits, Chinese, and others. Teamwork makes the dream work, folks. Hitler the genius? Hard pass. For a bit, Hitler seemed like he could do no wrong, but then he made some epic fails like picking fights with pretty much everyone. Not so smart after all. Insta-liberation? More like slow-mo. When the Allies freed places, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. There was chaos, settling scores, and a whole mess of rebuilding. Freedom's just the first step. So yeah, World War II was intense, but don't believe all the hype. Getting the real story, that's the real deal.